In the small town of Cedar Grove, corruption had taken deep root, poisoning the very system meant to uphold justice. At the center of it all was Judge Richard Campbell, a man who sold verdicts to the highest bidder, ensuring that truth had no place in his courtroom. By his side were officers John Reynolds and Mike Thompson, once respected members of law enforcement who had traded their duty for personal gain, using their badges to serve power and money rather than justice. Then there was Mrs. Helen Carter, a deceitful woman who saw an opportunity to manipulate the system, falsely accusing an innocent man. That man was Marcus Williams, a millionaire who lived modestly, known for his kindness and integrity. But when he became the target of a corrupt conspiracy, he refused to stay silent. What happens when corruption runs unchecked? And can one man's honesty bring down an entire network of deceit? This is the story of how truth fights back. On an ordinary afternoon in Cedar Grove, at the well-known store Big Mott, Marcus Williams was simply going about his day. As he walked through the aisles, he noticed an elderly woman struggling to reach an item on a high shelf. With his usual kindness, he stepped forward to help, expecting nothing but gratitude in return. However, Mrs. Helen Carter, known for her harsh views and quick judgments, saw an opportunity for deceit. Instead of thanking Marcus, she falsely accused him of stealing, raising her voice and causing chaos in the store. Within moments, officers John Reynolds and Mike Thompson arrived at the scene. Instead of reviewing the security footage or questioning the accusation, they saw a chance to profit. Taking a bribe from Mrs. Carter, they ignored the truth and placed Marcus under arrest. The town, already drowning in corruption, had claimed another innocent victim. The case was swiftly brought before Judge Richard Campbell, a man who had spent years selling justice to the highest bidder. Despite clear evidence from Big Mott's security cameras proving Marcus's innocence, the judge dismissed it without hesitation. In his courtroom, truth had no place. Only power and money dictated the outcome. Without a fair trial, Marcus was convicted, and the town of Cedar Grove fell deeper into the grip of injustice. But what the corrupt figures didn't realize was that their reign was about to be challenged. The truth, though buried, was waiting to rise. Sitting in silence after his unjust conviction, Marcus Williams knew he couldn't let corruption win. With a steady resolve, he picked up the phone and called his trusted friend Donald Trump, a powerful figure known for his strong stance on justice. Marcus detailed the events at Big Mott, exposing how Judge Richard Campbell, officers John Reynolds and Mike Thompson, and Mrs. Helen Carter had conspired against him. Trump listened carefully, realizing the depth of corruption that had taken hold of Cedar Grove. Without hesitation, he took action, launching a full-scale investigation into the matter. A team of experts was quickly assembled to analyze the Big Mott security footage. Every second of the video was reviewed, and the truth became undeniable. Marcus had done nothing wrong. The footage showed him simply helping an elderly woman, while Mrs. Carter's false accusations were laid bare. The lies that had condemned Marcus began to unravel, and the people of Cedar Grove took notice. At first, whispers of corruption spread through the town, but soon, those whispers grew into a loud demand for justice. Citizens gathered in small groups, outraged by the revelation. They spoke about the years of injustice they had witnessed, how power had been abused, and how too many innocent people had suffered. The tide was turning, and the once powerful figures of corruption could feel it. As pressure mounted, officials had no choice but to start questioning Judge Campbell and the two corrupt officers. The walls of corruption, once thought to be unbreakable, had begun to crumble. The people of Cedar Grove were no longer afraid. Justice was finally within reach. The trial of Judge Richard Campbell became the most significant event in Cedar Grove's history. The courtroom, once a place where justice was bought and sold, was now filled with the undeniable weight of truth. The The Big Mott security footage was played for all to see, proving that Marcus Williams had been falsely accused. Witness testimonies exposed not only the judge's role in this case, but also years of corruption, bribes, and abuse of power. The evidence was overwhelming. Campbell had ruled with greed, not justice. As the truth unraveled before the town, the once powerful judge sat in silence, watching his empire collapse. By the end of the trial, he was removed from his position, handcuffed, and taken away, finally facing the justice he had long denied others. But the reckoning didn't stop there. Officers John Reynolds and Mike Thompson, who had used their badges to serve their own interests, were also convicted. Their history of wrongful arrests, cover-ups, and bribery was laid bare before the court. The very system they had manipulated now held them accountable, sentencing them to years behind bars. Their days of unchecked authority were over. As for Mrs. Helen Carter, the woman whose false accusation had set everything in motion, she too faced consequences. Though she did not serve jail time, she was heavily fined and ordered to perform community service. Forced to give back to the very town she had helped corrupt, she became a living reminder of the cost of deceit. With justice finally served, Cedar Grove took its first steps toward healing. The chains of corruption had been broken, and the town was ready to embrace a future built on truth, fairness, and integrity. With the corrupt leaders removed, Cedar Grove began the long journey of rebuilding. Community leaders stepped forward, determined to restore fairness and transparency to a town that had suffered under years of injustice. New policies were put in place to prevent the abuse of power, and citizens actively participated in holding their officials accountable. This was no longer a town ruled by fear and bribery. It was a town reclaiming its integrity. The people of Cedar Grove had learned a powerful lesson. No longer willing to stay silent, they united to ensure that corruption would never return. Town meetings became a place for real discussions, where voices that had once been ignored were now heard. A new generation of leaders emerged, inspired by the fight for justice, vowing to protect the values that had been nearly lost. At the heart of this change was Marcus Williams. His honesty, kindness, and refusal to back down had sparked a movement that no one could have predicted. What started as an unfair accusation became the catalyst for justice, proving that even one person's courage can make a difference. His story spread beyond Cedar Grove, serving as a symbol of hope for anyone facing corruption and injustice. And so, as the town stepped into a brighter future, one truth remained clear. Truth always finds a way to shine. Justice prevails when good people stand up against corruption. Thank you for watching this incredible story of justice and redemption. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Your support helps us continue bringing you compelling content. Also, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the fight against corruption in Cedar Grove? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Until next time, stay inspired and stand for truth.